Does that stand out as maybe good or not good?
It's weird, so I want to read it.
Okay. Do you want to read the title?
Am I the a-hole for excluding my gay adult nephew from my gay social events when he says attending the events is a need for him, not a want?
What a wild title. My brother has 2 adult children, Maisie, 19, and Cassidy, 18. I am a gay man in my 50s. Both Maisie and Cassidy are very young for their ages.
What do you mean by that? Are very young for their ages.
They live out their lives entirely online, and neither of them have any real-life friends. They are both very into fandoms around boy bands. They both have some interest in fashion, which they follow on social media. Roughly 2 years ago, Cassie announced identifying to be a male. As part of this, Cassie fashioned somewhat to be a kind of goth, glam, androgynous look. Cassie has long hair and wears a great deal of makeup, and this did not change after the announcement, but Cassie began adding in a mustache and a small goatee, which were applied with makeup. That's awesome. That's pretty sick.
Is this just gonna be transphobic?
I'm hoping not.
Yeah,
I am part of a very tight-knit group of friends in this city. We're all gay men. Cassie never showed much interest in my social life before, but after this announcement, he began asking to attend my social events. I told Cassie once he turned 18, he could come. Okay, well, he's 19 now. Oh, no, he is 18 now. Maisie's 19. All of my friends are in their 40s and 50s, and most of them are married with kids. We drink, wine, and talk about our lives, and it's usually very domestic, but it can get raunchy. The first uncomfortable part was that anytime there was any reference to adult fun time, Cassie would loudly huff and sigh, and at one point rush out of the room. I'm presuming Cassie is not comfortable with adult fun time, but I was not going to babysit him as he is an adult. Respecting pronouns, based. Once Cassie had a glass or 2 of wine, he loosened the, is that legal in America? Hold on a second, which country is this? We don't know. The internet is America. Let's... Once Cassie had a glass or 2 of wine, he loosened up more, but it got a lot worse. The word expletive here started flowing out of Cassie's mouth nonstop.
That does not encompass the word that's being said. The F slur for queer people started flowing out of Cassie's mouth nonstop.
I was going to clarify at the end of the sentence as my brain was still piecing that together. I just saw asterisks, but then I realized what the 2 vertical lines meant. Cassie repeatedly talked about how every aspect of himself proved how he was such an F slur and had always been one. Cassie brought up his love of fashion and boy bands as examples of this. This caused a stunned, uncomfortable silence in the room. Each one of us in that room besides Cassie has been called that word before by someone who was in the midst of doing terrible things to us or threatening them.
Yeah, I was about to say, you are in a group of gay men in their 40s and 50s. This is not typically a group that wants to reclaim that word.
Cassie has never been in a position to be called that in any context, and then likely having conversations online a lot with also young people in the community who are looking to reclaim that word, who use that fairly casually. Know the difference, know the context. Ask Cassie had more wine. He kept on changing the subject back to his boy bands. We are grown-ups with interesting lives, and none of us are interested in boy bands. Anytime the conversation strayed from fashion or boy bands, Cassie hijacked it back as he got more drunk. People started leaving, and I was furious because Cassie is apparently terrified of confrontation. I told my brother that Cassie will not be welcome back to any of my events until he grows up more. Apparently, Cassie had a meltdown and said that he needed to attend these events to be part of his community, and it was a need for him, not a want. My brother is acting like I'm responsible for Cassie's mental health. Am I the whole? I think you and I feel similarly.
Yeah. No.
So are you the whole that an adult, a very young adult, was acting like a child? No.
No. Around these 40 and 50-year-old gay men that wanted to talk about 40 and 50-year-old gay men stuff, and this 18-year-old baby gay is like, I want to talk about boy bands and fashion, and use the F slur every other word. No.
This is a big part of also, becoming involved in the community, is recognizing when you're not to be included in certain contexts or conversations because you're not following the inherent rules of them.
Mm-hmm. Like this is a space.
If someone's uncomfortable with language in any context, in any community, then you're allowed to say you can't come here using that language. Sorry.
Yeah.
You've offended people, you can't participate. It doesn't mean you're not welcome in the community overall. It doesn't mean you're not welcome with other people.
Like
you've kind of made a butthole of yourself, and now you need to know where the boundaries are.
Right. Like you were allowed there, but you kind of hijacked this space that was not made for you.
So yeah, NTA.
yeah. Not the a-hole. All right, I'm gonna pick a winner for this giveaway. The winner is Beanie Gaby.
Did you see that too?
Monarch.
What? What is? Did you see that first one?
Am I the a-hole for not following the tradition of naming my son from my husband's family?
Okay.
My husband's family, all the first men in the family, have the same name and surname. Is that weird? I feel like that's weird.
All the first men in the family have the same name and surname, but not the same middle name, right?
Yeah.
So
name and surname, and then I guess middle name is different.
So the issue is with twins. You can't name them both that, right? So you got to pick one, which is the primary twin, and which one is the secondary twin.
Which is weird.
Whichever one whichever one drops first, like a new album, that one you name it as the ancient tome names that have been passed down generation to generation.
Example, my husband's grandfather was called John Will Smith. My father-in-law, John W. Smith II, and my husband, John W. Smith III. I guess it's also middle names?
That's not just name and surname. Middle name's a bit too far.
It's all, I guess they could all be something also called W that isn't Will.
John Woat Smith.
And it's something taken only for the firstborn's family, so brothers, cousins don't have that name. This 1, 2, and 3 is what would correspond in English, but in my language, it's much more tacky. My husband was almost convincing me if one of the twins was a boy to follow that line. When we found out they are 2 boys, we both agree that this tradition gets to be tacky, but it's something familiar, and yes, there's pressure from his family, but let's get to the points. We've got a bulleted list. Oh, okay. 1, I want my last name in the name. So it was already a problem before we found out the sex of the babies, because they only have the great-grandfather's last name. 2, I don't want the other baby to feel bad about being born later and not being able to participate. 3, the bizarre resemblance to the monarchical system. 4, I gave examples of names, but the real ones are very long, and the last name is very difficult to write. 29 letters total.
So maybe the whole?
so maybe.
So either you're John Smith or you have longer than the entirety of the alphabet as a last name.
Mm-hmm. Point number 5, my second child couldn't have the same name. So I said I didn't want to follow the tradition because we won't have any other children besides the twins, and I think it's okay to create new traditions or just let people go free.
They're your children. Free-range babies? Just 100%
no name. Organic, free-range babies. But I said that he could choose any other name, and this is something that despite that we're both parents, we also have to protect our children. I don't think it's healthy to do that. My husband is angry with me, saying that he is also a father and should be able to choose a name, and that it was his desired dream to follow tradition. I won't even comment on his family's reaction, but my husband told them to stop pressuring me because of the pregnancy. Parenthetical high risk.
So 29 letters, yeah, that'd be the worst homework assignment ever given to a child ever if they have to go home and then pick out 29 different words to associate with each of those 29 different letters. It's a very hard challenge when you're young. But, if they're only doing it for tradition, Or is the son the only kid of the parent? If it's all on that, well, he's the first son, so then his first son after him.
Yeah, it's all first sons. So if he doesn't do it, the tradition dies with him. I think that it's silly goofy. And
I think it's a pretty sick tradition, but I'd only participate in it if I thought it was a pretty sick tradition. And if I didn't feel it was a pretty sick tradition, then why would I?
The tradition, cool or not, whether regardless of what you feel about it, naming a child is a 1 no, 2 yes situation. If one partner says no, it's not on the table. You have to both agree on what you want to name your child. If your partner says, I don't want to do this tradition that your family has, then that's
she's
it.
Not been indoctrinated to the tradition.
Yeah.
You can break it there.
and you're done. That's it. It's got to be unanimous, 100%.
That's not controversial, I don't think. I don't think I've seen a single person disagree. Yeah, go ahead.
You want to do a giveaway for the final keyword?
Oh, sure. What do I do? What do I say? Everybody put gay in Beep's chat. It has to be in Beep's side. It can't be in my side, apparently. So hold on. Apologies. I'll throw a link over there.
Let me caveat. If you would like to enter the giveaway, type gay into my chat specifically.
There you go. The link's in chat. It's the
if you don't care about entering the giveaway, just keep spamming gay. Just gay it up in the chat, you know?
Gay.
All right,
let's go.
The last winner of our giveaway that will choose our searchable keyword is...
I want to do the gay too. How did you do that? What was your setting?
How appropriate. Gay Kerfluffle. You have won the giveaway.
Oh, there you go.
Kerfluffle says sprain. Sprain could get us some good stuff.
Such a good one. Ooh, like AITA for spraining something.
Ooh. We might. You know, we get a lot of wet noodle husbands. Oh, wait. No, this might be...
Wet noodle
hang
wives?
on.
Wait, dry noodle husbands.
Oh, this is interesting. Am I the a-hole for arguing with my husband's doctor and acting like a Karen because they wouldn't listen? See, I would have assumed a flippy-floppy other way around, but it's the wife arguing with the doctor because the doctor's not listening to the husband.
I think very rarely is someone the A for arguing with their doctor.
Right.
Because, you know, the people that give up really easy are the ones that don't need help. Because if you really needed help, then you would have stood up for yourself. Husband has a sore foot, no injury or medical condition that would explain the pain, but he hasn't been able to walk properly for about a week. Being the absolute pain in the butt that he is, he refused to go to the doctors until today. Apparently, he preferred to just pop paracetamol and complain to me. It's
you need to fix my husband because he won't quit bothering me.
He won't stop talking, doctor. I got my menthols and not cutting the edge off of it anymore. Doctor, please.
I'm up to 2 bags a day.
It's gotten progressively more swollen and misshapen looking. And today it's gone a funny color, and he couldn't put any weight on it. So I called our GP, who has sent him to the walk-in clinic at our local hospital. We finally get seen, and the doctor refused to even examine it, told him without even looking at the foot that it was a sprain and that he wasn't going to prescribe any painkillers, so not to ask. Then he started demonstrating some kind of exercises that involved going up and down on the tiptoes and flexing the toes. Yeah, I mean, that helps with sprains, but I mean, okay, so it could be an abscess, it could be any number of diseases, it could be arthritis that has flared up suddenly,
diabetes,
it could be a spur that has burst, diabetes, it could be cancer,
gout,
like a bunch of things. I asked if he would please just look at it, look as it has gone nearly black, ew, in some spots, and look, okay, so internal bleeding? And similar to how my wrist looked when I broke it a few years ago, he huffed at me and asked where my medical degree was from.
This doctor sucks
and I
so
demanded
bad.
to see another doctor or his senior. I was the butthole here because it wasn't me being treated, so I get he thought I was a pushy cow. Husband wouldn't say boo to a goose in medical situations and would have accepted the doctor's instructions without any questions about actually needing to be examined. doctor left, and we heard him outside the cubicle telling the senior doctor that they have a confrontational spouse who thinks her WebMD searching qualifies her to instruct real doctors on how to practice medicine. He also states that he suspects my husband of exaggerating to get opiates.
You didn't even look at it to know if he was exaggerating!
By the time the other doctor arrives, I'm seething and lay out exactly what and went on and explained. I only want someone to look at the foot before sending us away. He looks, cue x-rays, an MRI, and good painkillers. Oh, the good painkillers and a walking boot cast thing with potential to need surgery because he's got 7 stress fractures in that foot, probably from running. Admittedly, worse than they needed to be because he didn't get any treatment when it first started to hurt. Second doctor, and someone from the hospital admin came and apologized for the first doctor and asked if we want to make a formal complaint. So I did, because the outcome of his not listening to the patient or family could have been worse. Husband did not. Husband said later that the first doctor may get sacked because of me complaining, and I should have left it because no real harm was done. Was it an AH move to complain? I don't usually have Karen tendencies, but he was just so patronizing and dismissive. And I kept thinking, what if it was a young mother with a sick baby and he dismissed that? Not everything would stand their ground, and there could be really serious consequences. Edit, thank you all for the comments and awards. I didn't expect this to go as mental as it did. I've shown hubby the post, and he started to realize how serious it could have been and is going to email the admin guy we saw this afternoon. He gave us his contact details for my complaint. He's also agreed that delaying treatment was the way he did was incredibly stupid, and he has decided to chase up the counseling referral with a GP so he'll be less useless in future medical situations. Wow, the wife thinks highly of him. Thankfully, we were eventually given appropriate treatment, and hopefully the follow-up will be positive. I'll stick an update on here if there's anything interesting to report. Once again, thanks for easing my mind and sharing your opinions. On one hand, my husband's getting therapy. On the other hand, useless. Yeah, if that doctor is ignoring a bunch of symptoms and not even looking at the problem, and immediately just assuming based on the look of the couple that the reason why she's doing all the talking for the problem that the husband has is that they want to fish out meds, yucky, ew, gross. Not helpful. Also,
Right.
could have resolved instead of a several minute conversation where they're arguing with just like a 1 second look at the ankle to see whether or not there's a real problem present.
Right. That's literally all it would have taken. And
Yep.
this whole thing could have been avoided. Okay, I was gonna make that one the last one, but
Yeah.
I feel bad about no one from your community ever being picked by the
The giveaway
the
bot?
giveaway bot. So we're gonna do
Okay.
one more.
What if I just write the word butthole?
What if, OT? What if you were just so silly goofy and you wrote the word butthole? Huge. Y'all getting paid for being gay? Every time I make a new post on Blue Sky.
I perhaps should not have written that.
Oh.
I did top all time.
Oh, you searched butthole. What's the top butthole?
You can read it in your head.
Well, we gotta do that one.
No, I don't want to do that one.
I want to do that one.
Did you read it?
Yes. I gotta know what happens now. OT, please. Please.
I'll put a link in chat. I'll put a link in my chat. Go for it.
Hit me with that title. Hit me with the title.
AITA for telling my girlfriend I saw her daughter's butthole. Yeah, a lot of people are asking the same questions that I had, but thank goodness the individual's 20.
Yeah.
So it's not like as far as I can tell from what I skimmed, it's not bad, but we need to figure out the context of this. I, 44M, started dating a woman, 45F, back in December. Her daughter, 20F, moved down in January from out of state and is staying with my girlfriend until she gets settled. Daughter is a good kid. We get along well. She even gets along with my son, 13M. A few weeks ago, the daughter asked if she could use Snapchat to send me videos of the painting they're doing in the house. Videos of their dogs, etc., week before last, my girlfriend mentions a picture of one of the dogs that her daughter posted on Instagram. Knowing that many people use the same username across multiple platforms, I did a Google search using her Snapchat username. The first result was Twitter, which I skipped because Twitter. Second result was her Reddit profile. I think, oh cool, I love Reddit. I just got my 6-year badge and I clicked the link to her profile. Turns out she uses Reddit to post pics of her OnlyFriends page. I see a thumbnail of what can only be described as a picture used for a telehealth exam with an OBGYN and or proctologist. I closed the page and went back to the Google search results and read the summaries on the links instead of just looking at the domain like I was before. All of the links were related to her OnlyFriends content mixed with her personal info. Anyone who has been on the net for a while knows this is a recipe for disaster. Hell, I'm even using a throwaway for this post, and it doesn't have a picture of my butthole in it. I just don't want this story associated with my main account. I talked to a few of my female friends who have daughters to see how bad it would be if I tell my girlfriend what happened. It's not like there's advice for this topic on r/dating over 40. The general consensus was I needed to tell my girlfriend due to the safety risk. Last week, I told my girlfriend and showed her how to search her daughter's username. You showed your girlfriend her daughter's booty hole? How to search her daughter's username because my girlfriend is not tech savvy at all. I showed her how it only took 4 steps to go from her daughter's OnlyFriends page to the location sharing of Snapchat and see her house. You can find people's houses on there. I told her I'm not condoning what she's doing, but if she's going to do it, then she needs to be more careful. My girlfriend told her daughter to Google her OnlyFriends name, and it of course returned a lot of stuff, and the daughter freaked out. Okay, this is really good. She put 2 and 2 together, knowing her mom isn't savvy enough to figure this out on her own, and texted me about finding it. I admitted to her how it all went down, sans the details of the picture. Daughter accuses me of stalking her and looking for her nudies because I must be a perv. I explained I didn't go looking for them. It's not like I subscribed to her OnlyFriends page, but I told her if it was that easy for me to find the pictures, then it would be just as easy for a stranger to find her IRL. Like I told my girlfriend, it's one thing to show your bits online for strangers. It's another thing when they knock on your door. So now daughter thinks I'm a creep that went looking for her nudie files. My girlfriend isn't talking to me. And I need to know if ITA for telling my girlfriend. Thank you.
That took me out. That took me out.
Trek. And it seems like from the way this was all written and even the little bit of levity, but like appropriate amount of levity, it seems like this individual had the best of intentions.
Oh yeah.
And didn't know how to approach this, reached out to others to report what was going on, to get external advice, and then approached the situation in the best way possible, allowing the conversation to happen between the individuals who are family and not himself, who is separate from the situation. Unfortunate that her takeaway was not that she was so easily found, but instead that that he stared into the abyss with intent.
That's definitely a word for it. I can't believe this was a real story posted on Am I the A-hole?
It doesn't
so
even
funny.
seem made up. Like a lot of the ones that are fabricated come with like a lot of like, oh, she said coyly and she giggled flirtatiously, like that kind of thing.
This sounds like this sounds like a boomer accidentally finding an OF page.
Yeah.
It's so believable.
Seems like people in the comments are saying YTA only because should have gone directly to the daughter. No way.
Hello, daughter of my girlfriend. I saw your abyss on the internet.
He started dating the mother in December, and in January accidentally stumbles into this information.
Yeah.
No world would it be acceptable even
No.
after like a year or two? Should he go directly to the daughter?
Yeah.
This is absolutely a conversation for like, hey, yo, whoa, maybe the mom.
Absolutely. Hello. Is Blue Skypers available? I moistly seek companionship, please. Forsooth, thy response is, ooh, I strenuously overflow with glee when you crab skitter across my voluptuous pussy and pass whole, soundingly, crazily. Forsooth means indeed, by the way.